What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. I am so excited about today's episode because I'm going to be sharing with you a tip that I've been trialing here in our garden for about the past month or so. Not all the time do we bring things right to the forefront and show you guys what we're doing because, number one, we might not actually have success with them. They might not actually work, and I don't ever like to show things and steer people wrong if they don't actually work. I'll obviously show you if they don't work, but I don't want to show and premiere something for the first time if we don't even know if it's going to work or not. And the other reason why is sometimes we like to just do things on our own, experiment on our own, because a lot of times if we bring something new that hasn't really been talked a lot about or hasn't really been widely talked about, there's a lot of skepticism from some parties, and I don't really like to bring that on this channel. There's a lot of negativity, and so I like to see for myself if it's going to work or not, and then I decide if I want to show it or not. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background that you guys don't see, but this one right here is something that I think is absolutely going to be a game changer. And so that you guys not only have healthier plants, but you spend less money in the long run. So we were reading about, it was about a month and a half ago or so, we were reading through some research papers about essentially a biofilm transplant. Now, this is not necessarily what it is. It's just layman's terms. But for us as gardeners, we rely very heavily on biofilm to protect our plants. You see, when you put on sunscreen, the sunscreen protects your skin from the sun. If you put on bug spray, it protects your skin from the bugs. It's just basically a barrier. Well, biofilm is exactly the same thing. So biofilm protects the leaves from the sun. It protects the leaves from pests. It protects the leaves from fungus and mildews and other things like that can land and actually colonize the surface of the leaf. It's been studied that plants that have a thicker biofilm are are less susceptible to pests and disease and things like that can otherwise plague a compromised plant. So we talk all the time about how in an organic garden we have a really healthy biofilm because we promote beneficial bacteria and fungi. Well, sometimes what can happen is if you have a season like what we've been having, which is really cloudy, it's really wet, the plants are really stressed, the leaves don't actually have the healthiest surface to host life. And so I was just kind of randomly reading through actually when I stumbled upon what was being done with using healthy plants to essentially be a place to colonize the bacteria. And then what they were doing is they were taking the leaves, they were blending them into a slurry. They were then draining that slurry so it's just the liquid, and then they were drenching their plants that did not have the biofilm on them. And what they found is that there was a 25 to 40% increase in biofilm. And what they basically speculated, and what they eventually kind of came to the conclusion of, is that, or they hypothesized, and then eventually came to the conclusion of, is that the bacteria found on the leaf structure of the healthy plants that had healthy biofilm could essentially be transplanted onto not so healthy plants or plants that have less biofilm. Now, this struck me as really incredible because it's something that, it made a whole lot of sense to me, but it just never really dawned on me until I read it. And it was likened to if you have gut flora, right? If you have candida overgrowth, what they recommend is to basically balance the candida overgrowth with lactobacillus bacteria. This is cultures found in yogurt. And so if you have too much bad bacteria, too much bad fungi colonizing the surface of the leaf, there's not a good balance. And you need good bacteria and good fungi to colonize the leaf structure to create biofilm. That biofilm is the excretion, otherwise known as the waste. It's the waste product of the bacteria living on the leaf structure. A lot of people would ask, why don't you just spray compost tea? And you absolutely can. But the thing is that with compost tea, you have lots of bacteria and lots of fungi, and you're not really targeting a specific one. So what they said is that if you take a healthy leaf that has healthy bacteria already living and colonizing that leaf, and you spray it on another leaf, you're targeting the exact species that you would want to colonize the leaf structure. Because there's hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of different types of bacteria and fungi, but there's only certain ones that live on the leaf surface. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we've been doing for the past about month or so. We've been taking leaves from our healthy spinach that we're going to seed anyways. We're taking the leaves, we're blending them up and straining out the liquid, and we're taking that essentially chlorophyll and bacteria-rich mixture and spraying it on our cabbages here and our cold weather crops. Our kale, our cabbages, and our Swiss chard were just suffering. They had no biofilm at all. They had none whatsoever. And I left 3 as a control at the very end of our bed, and I did not water those with any of the mixture, but I watered the rest of the bed here. And so the results are just, they're astounding. So I'm gonna show you what I did first. I'm gonna walk you through how I did it. It's just so simple, it's unbelievable. And then I will show you how I did it, and then I'll show you the results. Okay, so we're here with our spinach. And all I've been doing is I've just been coming through here, and as they're going to seed, which they do, and they get a little bitter like that, I just come through here and pick them off. And if they're not going to seed, or if I have some bigger leaves like this, I'll just pick the leaves off. You know what I mean? Just get some good healthy leaves with good healthy leaf structure, good biofilm, because that's what you want. You don't want to pick from plants that don't have a biofilm. You want to pick from plants that do have a biofilm, because you want the bacteria that is colonizing these leaves to be put into the solution of the water that you're going to water your plants with. Okay, so we get all these, and I know you guys are going to ask, how many leaves should we have? Well, about this much. You know, just a handful. A really good size handful is adequate. You don't need anything crazy. So the first thing I did is I just filled up a blender full, about 20 ounces of water or so. Again, I know you guys always ask for specifics, but when it comes to this, you really just need enough to liquefy it. Any amount of water will be fine, but you want enough water so that it is liquid. You don't want it to be like a smoothie. It's got to be enough so that it really agitates and chops those leaves up, so that you have the smallest particle size possible. You don't want a lot of pulp. There's going to be a fair amount from everything that I put in here, but what you want is that green liquid that comes off, because you're agitating and you're chopping and you're blending, and all the bacteria is just basically getting mixed into the solution of water, which then we're going to add to some more water in a watering can, and we're going to use that as a drench. It's really simple, and that's why I have to share this with you guys, because anything that's this simple and has the results that it has had, it's a game changer. So let's go, let's check this out. All right, so I just got everything blended up, and another thing that was worth noting was that when it's being blended, it's actually incorporating a lot of oxygen. Now, normally this is not a good thing. Oxygen normally takes away food quality because of oxidation, but what's incredible about this is that the bacteria found on the bacteria colonizing the leaves that are found on the leaves outside are oxygen-loving bacteria. So what you want to do is you want to oxygenate it. You want to incorporate oxygen into this mix, because it's only going to help actually improve the quality of what you're doing. So the blending process only makes it easier for us, which is so cool that this is just, you can literally do this at your house, and you can create something that's going to help your plants improve their health and really improve the quality of your garden. All right, so the very final thing we have to do is we have to dilute it. Look how beautiful green that is. It's incredible. We have about a 1.5 quarts of liquid, or concentrate, I should say. We have to dilute it 3 parts to 1. So I'm just going to use this watering can. That's what I've been using for the past month or so to do this. But like I said, a sprayer might be a little bit better, just a little more consistent, but this is whatever gets the job done. It's just, I wish you guys could properly see how green. It's just, oops, spilling a little bit. Well, you get the point. It's beautiful, it's green, it's like Jolly Rancher green. And then what we want to do is, it's important, do not use city water. You have to use either water that you've harvested or water that you've let set out for about 24 hours, because that will actually harm the bacteria that you really need inside this tea here. All right, so really quick, I realize I have to show you the before and after, because once I water them, they'll all look the same. So I want to show you what they look like The control are those 3 green cabbages right there compared to the rest of this bed. The cabbages, the kale, the Swiss chard, and the Brussels sprouts, they all got this drench with the exception of those 3 cabbages there. Now I know they're not isolated, it's not the most clean experiment, but the fact of the matter is that it works, and it's very evident that it works because the only thing that I've changed in this bed is not using the drench on these 3 plants here. All right, so these 3 cabbages are the control, and I want to look at these because these are just so telling of how this is working. So not only are the plants here kind of anemic and small, but they're also really susceptible to pests. You see, all these cabbages here, everything in here is exposed to the same type of pests. But you'll see, look at the pest damage on this. Just look at the Swiss cheese the cabbage loopers turned this into. It's just annihilated without any protection at all. There's nothing to protect these leaves from the pests. There's no biofilm. The biofilm helps to add an extra layer of protection to the leaf. You can rub the leaf and there's no difference between the leaf underneath and the current leaf. If you rub a plant with biofilm, it kind of looks like a wax coating that comes off. And you can see here there's nothing, and the leaf is so limp because there's no protection from the sun, and so it's dehydrating very quickly. Now I want to contrast that with everything else that we've watered this with. Check out the biofilm on this. Look at how iridescently blue this is. If you rub it, you can pretty much write your name in the biofilm. I mean, it's just unreal if that's coming through. The layer of protection this has, the squeakiness that it has. And yeah, there's a few bug damage bits, but look at how less there is. Look at how much less there is. That's because they take a bite of it and the cell walls are too thick, they're too rigid. It's not tender enough for them to actually make a meal out of. See here, look at the same thing. A few little holes here, little test spots, and they realized there's better things to munch on. And it was all these ones here. Those were much more appealing to munch on. But check this out, look at the same thing. Look at the biofilm, look at that. Just look at the difference. See that? Look at that, you see that? That's the biofilm. That is the true difference. Same thing with this kale, look at this kale, right? Check out this kale. Look at the biofilm on this kale. See that? Look at the biofilm. It's just remarkable. It's just insane, the biofilm on here. So all I've been doing is what I showed you. I take some healthy leaves that have good biofilm. I blend them up into some water, into a slurry. I strain that slurry out to gather just the concentrate and none of the pulp. I dilute that 3 parts to 1 of water. And then I simply take it and I water it on my plants. And look at, I mean, just look at how, you see how green this is? Can you see how it looks like lime Kool-Aid coming out of here? It's just unbelievable how green this is. I just water my plants down thoroughly with this, make sure they're all nice and drenched, and the results have just been nothing shy of incredible. And it's as easy as that, folks. I just really hope that you guys enjoy this video. I hope that you try it, and I hope that you see the results that you're looking for. Now again, if your plants already have a biofilm, this won't really help out that much. If your plants are already really healthy, it probably won't help out that much. This is really used to help stressed plants that are really not growing at their optimum potential, and they're not able to create that protective barrier, so they keep getting knocked down by pest damage and disease damage, sun damage, things like that. This really helps to kind of just bolster their immune system, help them out, and it really truly works. And so I hope you guys will try this and share with your friends if it does work with you, or if you enjoyed this video. And also, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to throw a huge like up there. It really helps spread this video around to more people. It helps our channel grow, and it really helps promote this content, which helps people grow organically the food that they need to feed their families. And that's really why we are so excited about all this, because it's gonna help you guys grow more food and garden easier and have more fun. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. We'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye. Oh, and I know you guys are gonna ask this, how often did I do it? I did it once a week. Now, if it did rain, I held off until things dried out a little bit, so there might have been a little bit of overlap between the times, but it was about once a week. But you cannot overdo it because of the fact this is completely natural and it's plants helping plants. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully that helps as well. All right, see you guys in the next episode.